This is ANN News Brief.
Good morning. I am Lucy Adeyemi. Zimbabwe is plunging into its worst economic crisis in a decade. Prices are skyrocketing and gas lines are snacking for hours. The new government insists that the country has risen to middle-income status, but citizens don't seem to agree. In the days since the new finance minister announced the stabilization program, long lines for fuel reappeared, sometimes stretching for several kilometers. Drugs are also in short supply in a country where the health system has long been on the brink of collapse. Leading fast food chains in Zimbabwe have shut their doors as the cash crunch in the country worsens, just 2 months after President Emmerson Mnangagwa won elections. Some restaurants branches in the capital Harare and the second largest city, Bulawayo, say they would remain closed until further notice. Last week, a Zimbabwean newspaper reported that many retail shops were running out of some essential goods because of foreign currency shortages. Tunisia's parliament has approved a law to criminalize racist speech and incitement to hatred in a move aimed at protecting the mainly Arab nation's black population. The head of the Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights, Massoud Ramdani, says this is a very important turning point in the history of Tunisia, equivalent to the abolition of slavery. Ramdani added, quote, "It's a giant step, but there is still a lot of work to be done to make this law a reality in a society where there is racism against the 10% of black Tunisians and sub-Saharan Africans who suffer from insult and sometimes violent attacks. A woman from Ivory Coast was assaulted after she responded to insults 3 months ago. Under the law, a person convicted of using racist language could be sentenced to a year in prison and fined about $350. The law was passed with the backing of 125 MPs, while 1 voted against it and 5 abstained. Stay with us. We'll be back after this short break.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Adam, go and bring us your husband.
Okay, hello baby.
We're in this together, okay? Can you hear me? Keep coming forward.
Wait, stop.
You okay, lean to your right. Keep walking down. Keep walking to the left. Yes.
You're almost here.
Keep going.
You are here. Wow, you did it.
I'm just so glad I didn't have to use my cane to do this.
And I am so glad no other man got you before me. Let me be your eyes.
We will never stop working to give you a network you can rely on so you can enjoy life's special moments. MTN, everywhere you go.
An Egyptian military court has sentenced 4 militants to death in connection with the killing of 20 police officers. The court heard the accused were members of a branch of the Islamic State group and that they had been involved in a series of attacks last year. 16 other defendants were given life sentences. Hundreds of Egyptian policemen, soldiers and civilians have been killed in jihadist attacks in recent years. That's ANN News Brief. Thanks for watching. For details on these and other stories, visit our website, annafrica.net. Also join the conversation on Facebook, facebook.com/ANNAfricaTV, Instagram and Twitter at ANNAfricaTV. I am Lucy Adeyemi. Good morning.